Hey everybody, just wanted to touch base with you today. We are in lesson 3. Um, okay, before I get in, I want to touch base on a couple of things that need to be addressed, I think, at this point in the class. Uh, I was looking over um, the way that some of you guys are going through the class so far. Now, I know we're only on the third day, but I'm noticing that some of you are not really paying attention to the content. For example, in lesson 2, there was one of the most important pieces of content that we'll have in the class. Lesson 2 contained how to format a screenplay. These are the absolute most important building blocks that we'll be using the entire semester. There were only 10 people that actually looked at it, and some of you only basically clicked through it for about 7 seconds or 45 seconds or something like this, and didn't actually, I think, probably spend enough time to really absorb this information. I would urge you guys to really pay attention to the content. This can be a really fun class if you get the basics down, if you get the core material down. The rest of it is all creative, but it does follow some very simple but very rigid structural elements, as you probably noticed in all of the screenplays that I provided to you. So please make sure that you are reviewing the content. Now, it could be a situation where you're going to come back and look at it later. That's fine. I just wanted to hopefully put that out there right off the bat. Okay, very cool. A couple of things I wanted to let you know was that you guys are now in groups. If you want to see your groups, you can go under Communication Tools on your D2L page, and you'll find the tab for Groups. This will give you the opportunity to see your group and give you communication tools to see who you're going to communicate with. If you have any problems with that, let me know, and I can show you again how to get to that. But you're in your groups now. Everyone has a partner that they will be working on the final project with. So I will probably do a video maybe tomorrow that will further expand on what the final project actually is all going to be about. But for now, what I would say is reach out to your partner and make sure that you guys know that you are in fact partners. I did my best to try and put people in geographically similar locations, as well as with people that are interested in similar genres of television programs. Now, I want to make something clear here. Since we are doing screenplays in this class, which is largely uh, creative production, things like reality shows will not necessarily be a part of this. Things like trying to write for live sports, that's not going to be a part of this. Certainly, we're not going to be doing news writing in this class. Um, so, what we're talking about are dramas, comedies, sitcoms, cartoons, mysteries, action shows, these kind of things. These are the types of material that we're going to be producing in this class. So I did my best to try and put you guys with someone who seems like they share similar interests and who are geographically close to you. So if you look at this and say very quickly, oh my gosh, I don't know that I can work with this person, or there is something that you're very concerned about, please let me know ASAP and I will do my best to modify this. But for the most part, I think we've got a pretty good set of groups. Okay, what you need to be working on over the weekend is your Storymatic number 1. If you go to lesson number 3, you will see your Storymatic number 1. It is, I've given you 3 cards, 2 yellow and 1 orange or bronze. And the yellow are character cards. The yellow cards give you characteristics. And the bronze cards give you situations. So in this one, it's simple. It says, from the prompt provided in Storymatic 1 activity, write a scene including dialogue between two characters listed in the gold cards concerning the topic in the bronze card. Your scene should include all 5 primary elements of script writing and be between 2 to 3 pages. Now, 2 to 3 pages is not a lot when we're talking about script writing. There's a lot of spaces and dialogue. Well, you run out of space very quickly. So I would say you want to make sure that you are working conservatively. In other words, that you are conserving space and that you're getting to the point as quickly as possible. I want these to be interesting, but I don't want you to go past 3 full pages. I want to make that clear. I want this to be good, but I don't want this to go past 3 full pages. I don't expect multiple scenes. I don't expect flashbacks and flash sidewayses and, you know, all this kind of stuff. In this one, I don't expect internal dialogue, any of this stuff. We'll get to this later on in the semester. This is a simple dialogue, okay, between 2 people. In this case, it will be a person with very poor memory and a person that somehow, in some way, has the ability to read a person's mind. And this involves, in some way, shape, or form, a mishap at a laboratory. Now, how you incorporate all this in, that's up to you. I'm going to be doing another video right after this one that talks about the 5 elements of script writing. But one of the things I want to just make clear right now is this. In things like your action, which basically sets your scene, this is something that only the actors, directors, only the people on the production crew really will see. So it is not a matter of, in that area, saying Johnson, a person with very poor memory, Steve, a person who can read minds, you know, walks into a room or something like that. That is not what we do. That's not how this works. You reveal these characteristics through dialogue. So, for example, perhaps Johnson keeps you know, asking the same question again and again. This reveals that he has very poor memory. Or maybe Steve, you know, says something right before Johnson says something, or says something, and then Johnson says, "How did you know I was thinking that?" Blah blah blah. So that reveals that Steve can read minds. There's ways that you can reveal characteristics actually in the dialogue. That's the way that we reveal things within a screenplay. So I want to make that very clear. This is one of the most difficult things, for some reason, that people have when they start off. They want to write it like a book where you start off and you describe the character and you add in character descriptions and characteristics and all of that jazz right off the bat. That's not how we do screenplays, okay? So we have to reveal things as we build the characters. Now, you've got 2 to 3 pages to do this, so you're going to have to get creative on it. Okay, so that is how we're going to do that. Let me make sure that I know what's going on here. These things will be due. It will be due on the 11th, so Monday. You'll have the weekend to work on it, and your Storymatic is due on Monday. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments, as always, you can get in touch with me, and we'll talk. As I said, I'm going to record another video after this that talks about the 5 elements of script writing or screenplay writing, and I would urge you to watch that as well. Please make sure you're watching all the content that is available to you guys and reviewing everything that's necessary. Let me know if you have any questions. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.